Do not feel mercy for these people. What's up, guys? This is GN Guy. If you like my content, don't forget to like, leave a comment, and subscribe. So these people are the wives and children of our enemies, the ISIS members. They wanted to destroy the Middle East. They wanted to put everyone within that small part of the world, that volatile part of the world, which is always in war and conflict. They wanted to put those people in a bind. They wanted to enslave them. They had this totalitarian Islamist mindset that they want people to follow their sect of Islam, their interpretation of the religion. They go against everything that is practical or humane. They try to genocide the members of a sect that they find appalling. There will be blood up to your knees. Defiant ISIS bride vows revenge as last outpost of their Syrian caliphate face defeat, and Kurdish fighters amid fears there are thousands of brainwashed ISIS followers in camps. Brainwashing is not something that you don't do non-voluntarily. These people could have escaped. They definitely had some of them definitely had a gun to their head. We need to figure that out in the prison camps that we need to set up for these people. We cannot let these people go. They're in a bubble. They're only communicating with people that they know, and they need to be held very accountable for their actions. The diehard jihadists, these are like the hardcore of the hardcore. They want to exterminate the enemies. And these people are like really, really hardcore. Other people had the chance to escape, and they probably did. Diehard jihadists swell Syrian refugee camps and will vow revenge. The last remaining ISIS holdout in Syria face imminent collapse. One veiled woman, feared among thousands, unrepentant fanatics who fled Baghouz and surrendered to the US-backed Kurdish forces, cling willingly. We'll seek revenge. You'll be up to blood in your knees. We have left but a new conquest of future. These civilians continue to stream ragged encampments in the village of Baghouz since December. I don't consider them civilians. These are the enemy. They do not consider our children or our families' innocents. They went after, they bombed children in an Ariana Grande concert, little young girls. They came out of their bastion of eastern Syria. Many civilians were unrepentant of their promised bloody revenge against the enemies of ISIS. A veiled woman pictured toward her, screening points of hundreds of civilians. They screamed out their Islamic State's lasting stronghold, arriving in the area run by US-backed Syrian Democratic Forces outside the Baghouz, eastern Syria. US-backed Kurdish coalition forces thought few families remain in the enclave, but they now fear that they may have underestimated the number of brainwashed ISIS followers inside. Like I said in my previous video, drop a freaking Moab on them. Kill them where they are. We do not want this problem metastasizing something else. The idea is we need to exterminate them. There should be only one thing: extermination. 12,000 people of Baghouz arrived in the camp in non-combatants in northern Syria in the past 24 hours. As they came out of their bastion in Syria, many unrepentant media... we read that already. These are diehard jihadis. This woman, a fully veiled woman, carries her injured child as she walks members of Kurdish-led the SDF just after leaving the Islamic State's holdout in Baghouz. As an outpost of US-backed forces outside the village, 10 women stood in front of the journalists, pointing their index finger and sky and shouting, "The Islamic State is here to stay," gesture used by ISIS fighters proclaiming the oneness with God. Many of these women leaving the bastion to AFP, they wanted to raise their children using ISIS ideology. 6-year-old woman who did not want to be named said the ISIS will continue and become the boys under the group's new rule and is trained to fight from a young age. If you're going to let these people go, they're going to regroup and they're going to do the same thing again. Put them in camps. You know, in India 100 years ago, there was a sect of fanatics. There were Hindu religious fanatics. They were called the and I'm Hindu Hindu by the way, so it's not like, social justice warriors in the comment section. I could say this. So they went after these people because they were kidnapping people and just stealing stuff from them. They murdered up to hundreds of thousands of people. So what the British did is they rounded up these people. They separated them in sexes and put them in different camps so they could not have children anymore. And sooner or later they died out. They were called the Thuggees. That's where the name Thug comes from. Caliphate will not end because it has integrated into the hearts and brains of newborns and little ones. Some of these civilians threw rocks at cameras who was trying to film them, and one screamed at the photographer and calls us a pig. Nearby, a bearded man with a leg cursed the coalition, whose war planes had plummeted the last jihadists redoubt. I only surrendered because of my injury, he said. I have been ISIS since the beginning. Spy US-backed Kurdish fighters hopes that the final day comes, the ISIS caliphate. The tiny sliver of land just won't seem too empty. Drop a Moab. When we began the operation, we knew there would be civilians, but not such a big number. Adrian, a friend, a spokesman for the Syrian Democratic Forces, said on Thursday. Recent days, thousands more men and women, including the ones who flocked to fight ISIS across the globe, left the ISIS pocket, pending assumptions that the only new family remaining holed up in Baghouz were the ones who refused to leave or surrender or chose to die there. They come from the underground, never ending, said the SDF official. The international rescue community on Friday told nearly 12,000 people of Baghouz, they can't hold these people, arrived at one camp and non-combatants in northern Syria in the past 48 hours, including 6,000 people on Thursday alone. The women trucked out of the bastion. The week is drastically varying figures to holdout of families that remain in the bombed-out bastion of besieged jihadi bastion. There was still more to the Muhammad from the northern Syria camps of Al-Bab. We see how many people have come out in the past few days. There are many still inside, and the mother of four, her bright green eyes peered through the black veil. So I think it's the Irish blast that Ireland wants to take back. And I made a video about it yesterday. More than 55,000 civilians have arrived at Kurdish-run Al-Hol camp in December, according to the International Rescue Committee. The IRC told the agencies that doing all they can to help the new arrivals in the Al-Hol camp now breaking point, said the organization on Friday. No one could have guessed that large number of women and children living in Baghouz. Black-haired women trucked out of Baghouz in the past few days said they're cramped together in trenches, tents, and cars near. There's thousands of family leaving, but thousands and thousands of family there. Even I was surprised that 35-year-old Muhammad, Allah from Rakitano Het said on Wednesday, fleeing. The mother of 10, she lost a child last week due to hunger. Good. You should lose children. You should not be having children. Grew increasingly desperate. Footage obtained from the Free Burma Rangers Christian Aid group showed hundreds of thousands of people in riverside camps. I do not feel mercy for these people. To conceal the numbers, they've regularly been releasing certain numbers of people, including fighters, controlled amounts as attempts to buy time. If they really wanted to surrender, they could have, and if they wanted to fight again, they could have, he said. Delay is a deliberate effort, maybe to prepare for something else. The thought is unclear. ISIS created a photo stage across large scales of Syria and Iraq in 2014, ruling millions of people. Some ISIS fighters and their families are cornered on Friday on the water's edge. They've caught between advancing Kurdish forces and Syrian regime fighters across the river. Assad wants to kill these people. I think Assad should get these people. They should not be coming back to the West. General Joseph Attal, who oversees U.S. operations in the Middle East, said the ISIS fighters have already widespread across Iraq and Syria remain radicalized. He told House Armed Service Committee that reducing the physical caliphate is a monumental military accomplishment, but the fighting against the ISIS violent extremism is far from over. Since you have them in one spot, round them up, put them in camps, let them die off. There should be no mercy. This is some military operation. They're not civilians. They are all fighting against us. There should be no mercy for them. At all. Except for the the slaves that the ISIS has, the Yazidi slaves. I don't want to, I'm not gonna visit the parents' actions on the children. If the children are innocent and they're under fighting age, they should be allowed to go. They shouldn't be allowed to go back with their parents. The parents are the ones who are going to radicalize them. They should be sent to orphanages or some places that they would not be radicalized. ISIS should be shamed for their actions. Baghouz belongs to soldiers. Kalashnikov against them. All right. I don't feel them. These are the children that are believed to be from Yazidis. So Yazidi community, they're captured by ISIS, pictured being evacuated from ISIS strongholds. So there's a bunch of there's a lot of Yazidi slaves that that ISIS still hold on to, and they're getting released right now. I think the Yazidi slaves are a good candidate for people to identify these ISIS fighters. Take off their goddamn burqas and let the world see their goddamn faces. They should not be able to reproduce. Their children should not they should not have children. Let them die off. There should be a genetic extermination for these ISIS fighters. If you disagree with me or agree with me, just leave your likes in the comments. Guys, thanks a lot for listening. If you like my content, don't forget to like, leave a comment, and subscribe.